I did something stupid. I guess stupid. I don't know. I was going for a dopamine hit and I decided.
Your regular time blindness for me, I would say just trying to do anything and trying to know about how long it's going to take is about impossible.
Welcome back to ADHD Unfiltered. I'm your host, Sean, and this is your co-host, Mike.
Right.
And we missed last week because I did something stupid. I guess stupid. I don't know. I was going for a dopamine hit and I decided last Saturday, well, 2 Saturdays ago, to take my electric scooter out at night, which I've done multiple times. I will preface that. But this particular occasion didn't turn out so well. So it's kind of like that bird style scooter and it has a light on it and everything. So, I've done this multiple times, but normally, as an ex-ATV racer, I'm leaning back, I know the vibe, and we've got a lot of uneven sidewalks and asphalt bumps and stuff like that. Well, I guess I slacked off a little bit. So I'm cruising around 15 miles an hour and I was not leaning back. And next thing you know, boom, I went for a digger. And that actually, my face was, I'll put some pictures, I'll feed that in, but my glasses, when I hit the ground, my hand still has some road rash on it. I stopped myself, but my head hit, and that's what this is. And then my glasses, I guess, dug into my cheek here and cut it and bruised it. So, uh, I also lost my phone. My phone fell out of my pocket. So I got myself back together. I didn't have a concussion. I didn't have a headache. I didn't have anything. I was still good. I went home and that's when I realized my phone was gone. So it was about, I don't know, maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And I went up to my daughter's room. She was still awake. And I said, I need you to turn on Find My iPhone and find my phone. So she told me where it was. I was like, all right, that's right in the area where I crashed. So I got back on the scooter and went a little slower this time, mind you. I went back, I found my phone, and then I came home and I felt fine. I was completely fine. And Sunday I woke up. I really had no pain anywhere, even though I had some road rash here. I had the cut there. This was swelling up pretty bad. So Sunday I was like, I'm fine. Then it was Monday was even fine. Tuesday, I literally was looking myself in the mirror when I woke up in the morning and it looked like my eye was kind of recessing back in its socket and it scared the crap out of me. So I went to the ER, they did a CT and the doctor came back and said, everything's fine. Your eye socket is not broken. Like everything is good. It's just a swelling and fluids were building up and redistributing and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm good. So then when I told Mike this, I was like, dude, this is crazy. So this spot here was really sore and I was kind of rubbing it a little bit. And then like, I don't know, an hour later I get up and I go into the bathroom and look at myself in the mirror and I had some pus coming out of it. I was like, oh crap. So I started squeezing it, and I was really squeezing. And we got all that cleaned out. Next thing you know, freaking rock comes out of my forehead. And I was like, wait a minute. Like I'm holding this in my hand and I'm squeezing it. I'm like, this is piece of asphalt. And then I told Mike, and Mike was like, that's ridiculous. You just had a CT scan. So why didn't the CT scan pick this up? I don't know. And Mike brought up a good point. He's like, you need to get a copy of those scans, have someone else look at them because that's not cool. Like I could have it was already infected. And after I squeezed everything out, squeezed the crap out of it, I put some peroxide and alcohol on it and everything. And it's fine. It's healing, but I'm really disappointed in the hospital at this point. And I was like, well, a CT should, in my opinion, show a rock in your head. It's like if you had a BB in your head or anything like that, any hard object, it should show it. So I'm healed up healed up quickly. Face is good. Road rash here is good. This one's still got a bump on it, but it's healing up. It's not infected anymore. Basically, he probably made the most expensive dopamine hit run because my glasses were smashed. They were $1,000 glasses. Then I have an ER fee that I haven't gotten the bill for yet, but let's say that's probably 250 bucks even with my insurance. And then I don't know if I'm going to get a fee for the CT scan. This stupid dopamine hit may cost me up to $1,500 for, anywhere from 12 to $1,500 after I replace everything. So it was just ridiculous. It's like, and I've done this multiple times and it just wasn't my night.
Yeah.
Be careful if you feel like you need a dopamine hit and you go out doing something. I mean, it has nothing to do with age at that point, but it's like, yeah, going out at night, even with the light, you can't see that far ahead. So be careful. Like, it could cost you a lot of money.
Try not to take dirt naps.
Yeah, yeah.
Asphalt road.
Mike, have you ever done anything like that? Like, I know not the same, but like anything for a dopamine hit that has gone wrong?
Yeah, but not like that. I mean, my most of mine are just nobody really gets hurt, But I mean, I'll take the kids' dirt bikes out at nighttime, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, ride around the neighborhood and play hide and seek with the police. But cut 3 yards. But I don't try to purposely take dirt naps or anything.
I wasn't trying to.
You just decided that was a
Anyway,
good place to take a break for the night. That's what happened.
perfect PSA to not go for late night dopamine hits
Yeah.
unless you're totally staying at the house. And, I wish I could say I was like drunk or something like that, but I wasn't. Like,
Plus,
and that made it worse.
you were missing Supercross.
I was. I
You were
was. I was in the garage, got bored, and decided to run. I should have been in the house, sitting on the couch, being safe and watching Supercross. But
Well, no, you were out trying to emulate it by scooter.
oh, perfect. I put myself, in the pro class.
You thought you were Eli Tomac on the KTM on the
Yeah.
electric scooter.
It's so true.
Yeah,
So true. So, yeah, again, be careful about that.
yeah.
So now on to the next topic. We're going to talk about time blindness. Time blindness is probably the most universal, biggest issue with ADHD, ADHD, and it is crippling sometimes. So, Mike, give me an example of something maybe you've done recently that is time blindness related.
I get it a couple ways. I don't do well with stuff scheduled later in the day because it messes my whole day up because I can't structure in front of that. But as far as your regular time blindness for me, I would say just trying to do anything and trying to know about how long it's gonna take is about impossible. Unless I've done it multiple times and then I kinda have an idea. If you were to ask me how long it takes to change the oil in my truck, I know from having done it, it takes about 30 minutes. But if you were gonna ask me and it wasn't my car, how long would it take? I would tell you 10, 15 minutes, and it may take an hour. It's for me, it's a lot of little stuff like that. I can't unless I've done it repeatedly, like I said, I can't. Judging that time is impossible. Yeah, it's a problem for me.
And that has to do with dopamine. It all tracks back to dopamine.
It does.
And I have some notes here, like what causes time blindness. And people automatically think time blindness is, well, you just kind of put stuff off, but there's kind of subcategories.
There is.
And if we look at this, it's a change in the chemistry of the brain, lack of dopamine, and that also puts poor executive function into the mix. So that's has to do with staying organized and doing all these other things that normal, neurotypical minds have. It's easy. But with neurodivergent minds, it's not. And then it has hyperfocus also falls into the time blindness, which I'm terrible with. Working memory deficit. Now, this one is probably my biggest struggle through the years, even in school, because that's where I've referred to in the past, my index is broken. And basically, you have the information, it's in your head, but you can't recall it when you want to. And then after the conversation is over, your mind will be like, that's what I wanted to say, right?
Yeah.
It's that working memory deficit is a terrible thing. And that's where medication actually is ridiculous to help that.
Yeah.
And then the final one is emotional dysregulation,
Hmm.
which is another one that we all struggle with. And that's where you don't know how to regulate your emotions, hence the saying, but it's like you can fly off the handle so easily. So if we break these down, the biggest thing is like, all right, deadlines, right? Okay. So my wife says, we're going to dinner. We have dinner reservation for 6 p.m. Okay. Now I know I'm out in the garage, probably working on one of my million projects. And I know I need to get a shower. I need to get dressed. I need to be ready at let's say the restaurant's 15 minutes away. So I have until 5:45, but I've got to have everything done. So I'm ready by 5:45 so we can leave. So what happens is we wait until the last minute because again, that time blindness, we can't judge it. And there's also that sense of urgency. And if the urgency is hours away, we don't feel it. We don't feel it. It's like, I have time. I have plenty of time because our timing is messed up. So, Mike, what is there anything that you have that has helped you with time blindness for like say that situation, when your wife says we're going to dinner at a certain time, or you have to pick up my kid, or you have to pick up the kids at a certain time, like we will take it down to the millisecond before we actually take action.
Yeah.
But is there anything that has helped you get through that?
Alarms, basically. I usually have more than one alarm set. I'll have one, depending on what you're talking about. I have to leave to get my kid at 2 o'clock from school. Well, I know I'll have an alarm set at 1 and then another one set at like 1:45, just to give me that little bit of a, push to get done. I get myself one out about an hour and then one about 15 minutes before because it's 10 minutes from the house. And then another thing that I do is years ago, I learned that I had to not be late. So I always wanted to be a little early, kind of like a cushion, if you will. That works pretty good for me. But I mean, let's say you're going out to dinner and you're going to go eat at 6. Well, I'll probably be ready to go using alarms and I'll try to be ready early and we'll be there early. Or to go get my kid from school, I'm there early because if I'm not, I'm going to be late. And then if I'm late, it's a problem, if that makes sense. So I rely heavily on the double alarm clock stack, basically.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a good one. My problem is if I'm if I'm hyper focused on something, I forget to set the alarms.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a backfire situation. Impulsive decisions, most people with ADHD are impulsive, especially with shopping or buying. So this all falls under that time blindness thing. Even though it doesn't seem related, it's all related. And, it's like you go into the store, like my wife and I have this app called Cozy. COZI, excuse me. So we add to that grocery list, and that's the only way because I can go into the store for two things and I'll walk out with one.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'll get to the car and I'm like, I forgot the other thing. So by having an app or some way to track it, now it's like I'm in the store, I'm like, okay, I need this and this, and I'll keep looking back at it. And I do agree with the alarm thing. I think that's a great way to do it if you remember to set the alarms. Otherwise, it's usually my wife texting me like, it's 5 o'clock and you haven't showered yet. I'm like, okay, it's
Yeah.
kinda where
Yeah.
it's going.
That's how it goes, but when you talk about going to the grocery store, I have a list too. If it's not on the list, I won't get it. Oftentimes, I'll go there and have a mini list, and then I'll think of something that I need. The main reason why I actually go to get the list of stuff is because I ran out of, let's just say, medication. And if I don't physically add it to the list, I'm going there for that, but I'll get what's on the list, and then I'll get home and realize I never got the medication. So, you know.
Yeah,
It's how it
yeah,
works. Or I'll get food and get distracted on the way home to eat it. If I don't eat it there at the restaurant, let's say like Like the other day, I went to Chipotle or whatever and got it to go. And normally I would eat it there so that I can eat it. Got distracted on the way back using the phone and drank the whole drink. Came in the house and decided I was hungry. We just talked about this and
Mhm.
made some food and then didn't find the burrito that I bought until later the next afternoon. So that's the
Yeah.
kind of stuff normally I do on a regular basis, about once a week. So
Yeah,
nothing,
and it
nothing
also
too
comes
bad.
back to what we discussed before with waiting, like waiting in lines or waiting to get a table at a restaurant. If it goes beyond that 15-minute mark, it's like, forget it. But yes, like you said, we'll spend 30 minutes driving around and going to different restaurants. We could have been eating already, but it just doesn't work in our mind. And if you're waiting in line, like let's say you're at an amusement park and our perception, it's all the perception of time. We can't perceive that. So, to a normal person, if they're standing in line for an hour, time is going by. For us, it's like literally stand still. So, and the same thing, it's like, okay, if it's going to be 20 minutes, most people can just be like, yeah, you have a chat, whatever, you're just hanging out, waiting. But for us, that 20 minutes turns into the perception of like 2 hours
Yeah.
of waiting.
You
And
feel like
it's
you're dying.
okay.
It feels like it's just crushing you on the inside that you're standing there and you can't do anything.
Because we're bored. We're so bored. Like, we've got nothing to do, and, yes, we should be spending time and enjoying the presence of our family or friends or whomever we're waiting for, but in our minds, it's like, "I could be doing this, I could be doing that, I could be trying to take over the world, I could do" It's like, yeah. So it becomes difficult, and that time blindness I think is a lot of people get into trouble with relationships based on time blindness and being that last minute uh thing all the time. It's like, yeah, I know it takes me exactly 14 minutes and 22 seconds for me to get in the shower, get dressed, have my shoes on and be ready to walk out the door. So I will take it right up until the edge.
Yeah. So I got another. I'm interested if you follow this along as well. So I have court in a few weeks, let's just say 3 weeks, right? So the closer it gets, the faster time seems to go and the more overwhelmed I get with it. Do you have anything where it happens like that? It's like you have something that's scheduled out that I mean, it's on the books, you know it's coming, but it's almost overwhelming because it's like the wheel just keeps turning faster and faster. So then the stuff that you would normally do every day, your routine, just kind of gets suppressed and you pass it by because it feels like time's been accelerated getting to that point.
Yeah.
You ever have anything
Oh,
like that?
totally. Absolutely. Like, and this a lot of ADHD people have issues with, like, appointments. I'm terrible. I'm so terrible. Not only do I procrastinate with making appointments, sometimes I just get in my head so bad where I will cancel appointments for no reason because I just don't feel like dealing with it. And it's stupid because then I just have to reschedule the appointment and make it work later. But it's about the anxiety and actually following through with that said appointment, and you don't wanna deal with it, right? Nobody wants to deal with doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, all this stuff. Nobody wants to, but you have to, right? And that's why should I have gone to probably the ER to get a CT scan right after the accident last week? Yeah. Or even the next day, Sunday? Yeah, but I felt fine. I had no pain. I'm like, "I'm fine." And it wasn't until something triggered that, emotional response in my head that I was like, "I better go get this checked out just in case."
'Cause you
And
were
then, of course, you hit Google and you're like, "Looks like my I had a bad crash. I fell, I hit my head. Looks like my eye is recessing in back into my skull." And then you come up with, well, the impact could have fractured. There's 7 bones in the eye socket and they're all fused together. Well, if you crack one and it splits, you may not feel it, but so then it's like, okay, well, now I'm scared. So now I got to go do something. And I'm always reactive versus proactive. And it's, it all comes back to that ADHD and procrastination and all this other stuff. And it sucks. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know.
I get it. I do the same thing. I go to therapy every week and to make sure I don't forget, I'm always there 30 minutes early, even though it's 12 minutes from my house. But then I'll often get distracted when I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting to go in using my phone and be like, "Oh shit, I gotta be in there in 3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd the last 25 minutes go?" You know?
Yeah, well, there's a perfect example of time blindness, and I commend you on trying to be early, but then you just totally sabotage yourself by going down a rabbit hole and being on the phone and having time blindness, and now you're rushing and you're like, "Oh, crap, I ended up 3 minutes late anyway or 5 minutes late because I was
I was here
fiddling around with my phone
like,
doing
yeah, you're
stupid
there
stuff."
30 minutes early to only be 3 minutes late. It doesn't make any sense, but that's exactly how it goes.
See, I'm the opposite, like, I'm not early. I used to be, I think I was better, the older I got, like, now it's I just I guess as you get older and you have other issues and you gotta take care of stuff, it's like, man, I don't wanna deal with it. I wanna be perfect on paper and not deal with all this stuff, so I put it off, and I'm always I won't say I'm always late, I am always on time, but down to literally, like, the minute or 2.
Yeah.
So if we're going to dinner, yes, I know I have to get a shower. I know, and I know exactly in my mind. So it's kind of weird. It's like you got the time blindness where you can't get to that point, but then I know down to the seconds how long it takes me to get dressed. And I'm already thinking about like processing what I'm wearing while I'm in the shower. So I literally jump out of the shower, dry off, shave if I need to, and I'll factor even the shave time in, but it's like getting to that point until the action is taken is what is the struggle.
Yeah, that's how it is. And I also, for some reason in my brain, I don't know if this is correlates to it, but for some reason, I tell myself if I can get there early, I can leave early, especially if it's something that I know I'm not gonna enjoy. Yeah, but not that that correlates completely, but if it's something like a wedding where I know I'm not gonna wanna be there, I'll try to be there a little early, and then I'll have it in my brain that, "Hey, we got X amount of time, and I can leave early before everybody else because I was here early." Not that that's the proper way to do it, but it helps me helps me a little bit, but it doesn't
Yeah.
work that way with doctor's appointments.
No, and you know what? I think the issue with doctor's appointments and stuff like that, or even the dentist, is like you make that appointment and you get there on time, and then sometimes you wait for 30 minutes. So I get that anxiety in my head. It's like, oh, I have to go to the doctor, but I know I'm going to sit there and be, on my phone or bored. Thank God for phones. Look at this. Take your phone away and have to go to a doctor's appointment where they're 20 or 30 minutes late for bringing you in.
I'll
How
be
did people deal with that in the past?
I'll be done because I'm breaking out their equipment, sitting there and checking my blood pressure, the stick, I'm doing everything. I mean, I'm done before they walk in. I'm
Yeah,
serious.
but seriously, it's like, and I know you all can relate. Like if you gotta do your business in the morning and you don't have your phone or you forget your phone, that is the longest 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it takes in the world. Because again, that perception of time is like it stopped. As soon as you went in there, you're like, I got nothing to do. Oh, I guess I should repaint this ceiling because I see a mark up there. It's like, what else do you do? It's crazy.
It seems like
And
the
for the
room you're
ADHD
in
mind,
Yeah, it seems
huh?
like the room you're in gets, like, held at paused in time and the world's going on without you, and it's really annoying, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's
I
it's
know.
bad.
There's some funny memes I've saw on Facebook about that. Oh, this is what it's like when you forget your phone in the morning when you go to the bathroom, and it's like I can totally relate. I can totally, and it's everybody now because everyone is so yeah attached to their phone and they have something to do, playing games or looking at Facebook, whatever it is. But for the ADHD mind, it's like, oh my god, what do I do?
No,
So
I try to leave my phone, sitting in the bedroom when I get up to go to the bathroom in the morning, but what happens is, just so we're clear, I don't purposely take it to the bathroom, but I have to now. If I leave it in my room and the minute you start going to the bathroom, it starts ringing. So and it's never fail. I could be waiting for a call all day, sitting there waiting. As soon as I go in the bathroom, set the phone down on the table or in the bedroom, go to the bathroom, and then that sucker will start ringing. You gotta stop in midstream. Not pleasant.
yeah, or I get a text from Mike or a message from Mike, and I'm like, figures.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
It is. It's so true. And it's funny. I don't want to. Let me think how to say this. I don't wanna bring up there was a very popular thing that probably most of our parents did back in the day that involved lighting something and doing something, and I remember years ago when my parents both did it, we'd go to a restaurant, and as soon as they would light that up, the meal would come.
Yeah,
So it kind of became like a joke where we've been waiting for 20 minutes for our meal. Let me light this up and then the meal will come and boom, like clockwork every time. It's so funny.
yeah. Once something happens that you were waiting on, you can't control it, that's when everything happens. It's annoying.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
it happens every day pretty much for me, every morning. I can
Yeah.
So now I have to bring the phone to the bathroom and answer it on the counter, otherwise it'll just keep ringing. And I got another buddy that likes
So
to only call me when I'm going to sleep, which is really crazy. It could be
so if we look
11:30
at
PM, 1 AM, he's calling right when I'm laying down every time.
yeah, he's got that sixth sense.
Yep. And he
He's
doesn't
Bug
just
Mike,
call
so I
once.
keep him awake.
He'll call 1 to 2, sometimes 3 times and then send a message. It's like it's
Mm,
1:30 in the morning. What are you doing?
yeah. So if we look at we've possible solutions to this, we've got the alarm one, which is a good one. The other one I think that is really good is my I've always had an Apple Watch and it recently died. It won't take a charge anymore. But the funny thing is that whole thing where you can flip your wrist and it lights up and shows you the screen. I turned that off because I was like, again, my ADHD, I'm like, I'd rather conserve the battery than have every time I flip my wrist just doing normal stuff, like it's coming on. But that is a good one to track time. The other thing is you can have clocks. Make sure you have a clock in every room. And I feel like probably best to have a digital clock. I don't know. But it's you have to remember to look at it constantly. And there's ways around it. But at the end of the day, I feel like time in our mind, it really doesn't exist. So you can do whatever method helps you at least stay on time or do things. But the procrastination is real. I'm terrible. And even at work, I will, if I have a deadline, until that deadline is, like, right up in front of my face, it's kinda mess around, and then when I know, it's like, "Okay, now," then I'll crank out, software and code so fast, it's like, "Well, alright, I just took a pretty much a week off,
Mm,
but I still hit the deadline."
yeah.
It's crazy like that.
See, now
So,
now
I don't know, you have any other tips?
I hate having a clock around. I love using an alarm, but I don't wanna see a clock. If I know, let's say I have to leave in an hour and I can see a clock, I'm in panic mode watching the clock knowing that I can't get I definitely don't wanna see the clock. Just an alarm or 2, and I'm good, but if I watch that clock, I will waste that entire time trying to compete against the clock, and I won't get anything done.
Understood.
So, I'm
I
opposite
do
of you
kind of
on that. I'm
I
definitely
kind of
no clock.
agree. No, I don't have clocks everywhere. I'm just saying, like, these are
Yeah,
potential solutions if it works for you. But I agree. Like, then you hyper focus on the clock and you don't get anything else done.
yeah.
So it's like that double edged sword. You got to find the balance.
I
And
also
I do like the alarm thing if I remember to set them.
I mean, I don't
Or
even honestly, I don't even change the clock in my truck for the daylight savings time, so I'm still on summertime.
what are you driving a 1980s truck that doesn't automatically change it?
No, well, it's a 4th gen Ram, but no,
I know. I'm joking.
but no, it yeah, no, it just has the regular OEM radio. It doesn't change on its own. You're supposed to go in there and yeah, no, I just leave it. I set it once, one and done. We leave it at that.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I don't think it's that
Yeah.
complicated. It's just push a button, hold it down, and change it. But yeah, I don't like messing with clock. Now the
Okay.
alarm, I'll tell
Well,
you what I do on my alarm on my phone is you can set an alarm through your calendar. So I know I pick up my kids on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I know this, but I don't set an alarm for that through the alarm on the phone. I set it through the calendar. So it lets me know ahead of time. It does both, but that's how I do it. So it's set up for months, so I don't have to do it
yeah.
every day.
Yeah, the calendar's great. For recurring events,
Yeah,
I do that as well, and I think if you have Siri enabled, if you have an iPhone or I don't even know what Android has, but you can also do that too,
it's
and that
Gemini.
would make it easier. It's what?
It's Gemini, I think.
With Gemini's doing it? Okay, so that is a good way to do it because then you could just talk to it. I do not have Siri enabled. I always turn it off on my phones because I know it's always listening and my paranoia, I'm like, even we have a funny thing is my daughter's name is Alexa and she was born and named before Amazon Alexa ever came out. But there's a reason that they chose Alexa. There's science, a lot of science and stuff that goes into choosing a name like that because the enunciation of Alexa is very clear. It was a rare name and we just happened to choose that. So it's kind of been an issue over the years, and now she kind of shortened it. She just goes by Lexi even at school. But we had to change our when we had the Amazon Alexa, we had to change it to Echo because otherwise it'd be just going off all the time when I called my daughter. But yeah, there's if you have an Amazon Alexa or something like that, there's ways around it, and it's just what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely we're definitely a little different, but yeah, it's I definitely have my own issues with all of it. The time blindness hits me every day, so you know how it is.
It hits everybody with ADHD every day. It's, honestly been my biggest struggle,
Yeah.
and the procrastination is just terrible, and I used to think back in the day before I was diagnosed as a kid or even in my 20s, it was kinda like, why do I put all this off? Like, other people just go out and do it, and I see my neighbors going out and doing the yard. Well, even when I had to cut the grass, I'd put that off until it was, like, a foot tall, and it had to be done.
Yeah.
But once you get diagnosed, if you haven't been diagnosed and listening to our podcast and you are seeing patterns that we have, getting diagnosed, a couple friends that I recently talked to are in their mid to late 40s and they just got diagnosed. And that's just like a boom, a wow moment. And it explains your entire life in like a couple sentences, the doctor telling you. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you suspect you have it at all, I recommend going to get diagnosed because trust me, it will change your life. And now you know what to look for in the patterns to try to stop and maybe get on medication. And we'll get into a medication very soon.
Yeah. And
But
I know you might deal with this a little bit too. Just a little side note is sleep patterns are goofy. I
what is sleep?
Yeah, you don't really sleep. So you mentioned cutting grass. I absolutely hate it. It's the worst. I don't know. I'd rather give myself surgery on myself than cut the grass. But I also don't want to do the yard work and cut the grass when everybody else is doing it. So I'll do it at odd times and odd. I have done yard work at 2 or 3 in the morning, just to be honest, so that they wake up and be like, "When the
Your
heck did this?"
neighbors love you.
Oh, they're like, they wake up and say, "When the heck did this guy get his grass done?" I don't ever want them to really see me doing it. I don't know. It's like a pet peeve thing. I try to do it when people are working or really on schedule or pull weeds at 2 o'clock in the morning or who knows what. But if everybody else is
Well,
out there on a Saturday and Sunday doing it, I'm not.
no, because it's when your mind will allow you to do it and you get that burst of energy, your dopamine is like stabilized and you're like, okay, now I go into that. I got to get it done.
Oh, I'll be mad and
It's like
angry.
doing the dishes. It's like dishes piling up in the sink.
Yeah.
So many people with ADHD, especially if you're single, they're going to pile up and you just look at them. You walk by them every time, you keep adding to it. And then finally, hopefully, you get that burst of energy and you're like, all right, maybe I'll put them in the dishwasher.
Yeah. It's so easy if you just eat and then clean the dish and put it away, but that doesn't happen. Just
I
doesn't.
know. And I cook a lot, and that kind of became a little bit of a. My wife started a new job a couple years ago, and she wasn't getting home until she was done at 6. So I took over cooking because I work from home. So that became a kind of a treatment plan for me, and I enjoyed it, and I like to eat. And it's funny because if I go to like somewhere else for a dinner party, and I watch them cooking. Most of the time, it's like they're cooking the dishes pile up. For me, while I'm waiting for something like, let's say, I don't know, sauteing onions, I'll actually clean that whatever I'm not using and put it on the drying rack so that because I absolutely hate doing dishes. So to leave all the dishes to the end of the meal, that gives me anxiety. So I'd rather just do it while I'm waiting and I'm listening to music. But there's like little tricks like that you can do. And so that anxiety doesn't build up and you kind of just go with the flow. And
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do kind of the same thing, except I eat ridiculously fast. So I'll cook, put the food out for everybody, let them start eating, and then I'll clean everything, and then I'll sit down and eat and finish the same time they all were ahead of them. I don't want to be done and then have to clean up all the pots and pans. That's not relaxing. So I'll do that while everybody else starts to eat. So I don't know. I've been that way for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do have a
Yeah,
dishwasher.
and, my wife always yells at me because if we have my wife's Italian, and if we have pasta night, I hate the big pot. I hate cleaning the big pot,
Yeah.
and I will put it in the sink, I will spray it down and soak it in hot water, and she's like, we share the cleaning, I'm cleaning during cooking, and then at the end of the meal, we kind of share the cleanup of the rest of it, but that is one thing, it's like, I will avoid pasta night because I hate cleaning that pot.
Yeah.
And it's not hard. It's just it's a mental thing. I
I
don't
think
know.
it's how deep the pot is. The bigger and deeper it is, the less I wanna touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like if it's a 13-inch frying pan,
Yeah.
especially if it's like nonstick, which we don't really use anymore, but that's easy because I could shoo, clean it up real quick and boom, done. But those big pots,
They might
don't
sit in
like
the
it.
sink for a day or 2. Just
They
because.
do sometimes.
I
They
mean,
do
I'll keep
sometimes.
changing the water, but I still won't clean it for a day or 2. What are you gonna do?
I agree.
That's how it works.
All right, we're gonna end this one today, and we will probably revisit this time blindness thing from a different angle. And if you if you can relate to any of this, please leave us a comment. Let us know, like, are we out? Is it just us, or I don't think it is, but we want to hear from you. And again, if you have any topics you want us to discuss, let us know in the comments, and we'll try to tackle those. Again, this one was kind of we mixed it in with our chronological story because it's a big one, and we'll have more of these big ones coming up.
Yep.
So again, from Mike and I, thanks for watching. We hope you like the content. Make sure you subscribe and like, and we'll keep bringing it to you, and hopefully,
We'll be
bring
trying
awareness and bring
we'll be trying to
what?
take less dirt naps on scooter rides.
Oh, if I take another one, my wife's probably gonna kick me out. So,
I don't have
all
that
right.
problem.
We'll see y'all later. Peace.
Yeah. Oh my god.